Remember how we said that some plants evolved to make seeds? But hey, some still stuck to making spores for reproduction. And the latter make up a category called cryptogams. In other words, cryptogams are plants that don't produce seeds. Instead, after fertilization, they make spores that grow into new plants. And in this club of seedless plants, the first members are algae. Algae, as you know, they were the first plants ever. And guess what? They never left water. You will find them in oceans, seas, lakes, ponds and aquariums. We call algae Thallophyta, and rightly so, because their bodies are thalloid, meaning blob-like. That is, they're not differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. Now algae, they come in all sizes. Some are unicellular, made up of just one cell, like tiny green dots. You would need a microscope to see them. Others are multicellular and some are massive. Now, although the algal body isn't differentiated into roots, stems and leaves, if we look closely at some multicellular members of the group, we would find some similar structures. For instance, we can see the holdfast. It might initially seem that the holdfast is like the roots, but while roots help plants take up water and minerals from the soil, the holdfast doesn't. Nutrients are actually absorbed by the entire body of the algae by the process of diffusion as it sits in the water. The holdfast just anchors the algae to the underwater rocks. Then we can see the stipe. It's a stem-like structure that keeps the algae afloat. And finally, we can see the blades. Blades are green leaf-like structures. They photosynthesize to make food for the algae. A lot of these algae also have something called air bladders. These are little gas-filled pouches that lift the algae to the surface of the water so that they can get sunlight. In algae that don't have air bladders, this type does this job. Now, just like other plants, algae too have chlorophyll. But here's the twist. There's not just one chlorophyll. There are 5 types. And depending on the mix, algae show off different colors: green, brown and red. Now, talking about green algae, they are mostly found in fresh water and they somewhat look like green scum on ponds. They provide food and oxygen to aquatic organisms. Now, for brown algae, they are mostly found in cold oceans. And some brown algae turn out to be massive. We call them kelps. They can grow up to 215 feet. Finally, about red algae, they are found deep in the sea, in the warmer areas. And they can be used as food as well. Apart from coming in different sizes and colors, algae come in different shapes too. Spirogyra, for example, is filamentous. Alva, which is another green algae, is flat, ribbon-like. And Fucus, which is a brown algae, is branched like underwater corals. In terms of reproduction, algae reproduce using spores, which can be formed either asexually or sexually. And finally, let's talk about the uses of algae. Like all plants, they fix carbon dioxide and release oxygen. They are used as sources of food. Chlorella, the unicellular algae, is available as dried powder and is used as food for space travelers. Some red algae, such as Gelidium and Gracilaria, are used in production of jelly-like desserts and ice creams. Another special algae called nori is used to make sushi, which is a Japanese delicacy. So that's it about algae. Now it's time for a quick summary. Algae are aquatic organisms. Their bodies are thalloid. They have no roots, stems or leaves, but they have some clever lookalikes like holdfast, types, blades and air bladders. Algae come in all shapes, sizes and colors, like green algae in the ponds, brown algae in cold oceans and red algae in the warm seas. Reproduction takes place using spores, and yes, algae aren't just cool looking. They are the carbon fixers, oxygen makers, fish food, space snacks and dessert ingredients.